Mom, I'd like you to meet Batman. Batman, this is my mom.
Ma'am.
Hello?
Say, Batman, you wouldn't be single, would you?
Let's start talking about Batman. Hey, everyone.
Hey, hi, everybody.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Tom. Nope.
No,
fuck.
no, that's not right.
Shit. I'm Jeff.
Yes.
I'm Jeff.
Yes. And together, we
watch
Batman.
Oh,
Okay.
So close to
We're getting it. We're going to get there.
Close to a good beginning.
At like the 19th episode, I feel like we're really going to have something.
Really running.
This might be the
smoothly.
19th episode. I don't remember what episode we're on.
Man, we're still maybe 2% through the entirety of Batman watchable stuff.
Yes. It's a lot.
Does it feel like work yet?
It felt like work this morning.
I'm going to ask you every episode.
I know you
we
are.
Do this.
I know you are.
Has this felt like work yet?
This morning it did, just because I was running so far behind.
Yeah, you're a little behind.
A little behind today. That's a little peek behind the curtain for you lucky listeners.
Whereas I've got a big behind. Oh.
A little bit of how the sausage is made.
Yeah. Sometimes
the sausage is made really late.
Sometimes
in the morning.
We are recording less than 12 hours before the episode is supposed to go up.
Indeed, yeah.
But this is interesting. We've got two interesting episodes for this one. Two origin episodes, because not really
an origin,
no.
but first appearance.
We got two first appearances, and they couldn't be more diametrically different.
That is very true.
In all things, every aspect.
They're
of
opposing angles of some
they're
fucking weird geometric shape.
They're barely the same show.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
And so the first one we got is what I would consider to be one of the worst titles in Batman the Animated Series history.
Yes. It's I've got Batman in my basement.
Whoa, look at this guy.
Don't even know, what is it? Is that like a play on Bats in the Belfry, or what is this?
Is there a old play?
Is
there
this
like a
saying?
Rogers and Hammerstein play?
Right.
That we
Is this
didn't
like
know
an
about?
Arthur Miller reference that it's just so obscure that I don't recognize it?
And yet here we are.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to start off thoughts here by I'm pretty sure this is the first episode of the animated series that I saw as a kid.
That could be right. That could be fair.
I know it was early on because they wanted to put the Catwoman and Penguin episodes up front because Batman Returns had just been in the theaters a few months ago when the show premiered.
I know the first issue of the comic was him too. Was the Batman the Animated Adventures comic. Yes, you're right. And what I will say, I will bring my first...
Your first starred point?
My first star point, which is... This is the most embarrassing way for the Penguin to premiere. Whatsoever.
Well, he's such a fucking nerd that it's sort of appropriate.
I honestly think this is the worst version of the Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
In a rich history of penguins being...
Well, yeah, he's always been...
It's a strange character.
He is a very strange character.
Yet Burgess Meredith did it so well.
Yeah.
DeVito did what he was told to do.
Which is a very memorable portrayal of the Penguin.
And yet this has all the wrong, all the worst parts of it thrown together.
Right.
Minus the voice acting.
Yeah, the voice acting. I recognize the actor, but I can't. I didn't look up who it was.
I didn't look it up either.
Yeah, this Penguin is just kind of a guy who thinks he's way smarter than he is. So it's just he comes off as like a super annoying coworker.
Yeah.
Rather than like a crime boss.
Yeah, he's Janet. He's Janet in accounting.
He's the dude that makes the same fucking sports ball joke all the time.
Yep. Yeah. Oh
and
man.
Like brags about how he
skin.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, I don't care about the Super Bowl. Who's playing?
But yeah, he says sports ball.
Yeah. Like you score a home run.
Yeah.
Like shut the fuck up, Penguin. You know how football works.
Yeah, it's a really it's an embarrassing way for him to show up. Because the episode is just stupid. It's a stupid episode.
Well, yeah,
all right, well, I guess we should do the whole
the
synopsis.
The synopsis. Okay, so it starts out with two criminals stealing a Fabergé egg
Sure.
in the worst possible way to steal an egg. Like, they come up the side of this skyscraper on one of those window washing platforms and then cut a hole, like a triangle in the window, and then reach in with like a claw arm and grab the egg and then carry it out through the window and then carry the egg up to the roof and just run top speed, jumping over at least one rooftop gap with this incredibly valuable egg in their possession.
They're very fragile.
Yeah. Word on the street.
One of those thieves is Rob Paulson?
Yes.
Like,
noticeably Rob Paulson.
Like, not even, like, what, did they just walk over to Animaniacs and be like, can we borrow?
Can we borrow Rob Paulson?
Because that's a reminder at how much a lot of voice actors don't make, that they're like, I'll also take this very minimal role in this cartoon, even though I'm the star of another one.
Yeah. Was Animaniacs on at this time?
93, they might have been in production at that point.
That's true. I mean, and he was Raphael for years.
Yeah.
Probably still Raphael in 92. He's
one of the most recognizable voice actors.
Yeah, you guys know his voice.
To the point that I had to pause it and be like, is that Rob Paulson?
Yeah. I mean, you know him immediately when you hear his voice.
So, Batman intercepts him.
Yeah.
And gets fucked up by a vulture.
He gets his ass beat by a gigantic goddamn vulture.
A big, very important vulture, as we're going to find out.
Yeah, this, also...
He throws the vulture off a building.
He does.
It's a vulture, Batman.
He monkey flips it off a building. Well, it was kicking his ass. I think he was just grabbing for anything he could find at that point.
Break an arm? Break its wing or something?
Sure.
You know?
You're Batman.
Yeah.
Fucking punch him in the neck.
You can't take a bird?
You
should choke it.
Yeah, he's just really violently killing this bird, snapping, like pinning it down and snapping its wings.
These two thieves. Imagine Batman cartoon strangling a bird,
just slowly strangling a bird to death.
Just getting pictures of it.
There was just back to the egg real quick. There was zero security around that egg. It's not even in a case.
Nope.
It's just like out on a pedestal. Egg. Yeah. One of the most valuable things in existence.
Yeah.
A Fabergé
that
egg.
Is like something that is used as a litmus test for things that are rare and valuable.
It's a shorthand term for incredibly rare and valuable things.
And you put it in the equivalent of one of those plastic Sports Pro cases for basketballs that are autographed. Like that's it. That's all it is.
So yeah. And then as they finds like bird seed.
Yeah.
And he says, bird seed?
Yeah, it's a fucking bird, man.
Yeah, dude.
They eat seeds.
So, yeah. I mean, maybe vultures don't.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, that's the other thing, too.
I don't think vultures eat seed. I think vultures eat dead flesh.
Corpse meat.
Yeah.
Corpse meat.
Corpse meat.
I wonder if this is at the abandoned corpse meat factory.
It leads it back to the abandoned bird seed factory.
Which, by the way, they did not clear their inventory.
No, there's still piles.
Is it even abandoned? Because as we find out, the power is on.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Yeah, and there's an entire subterranean section where the penguin can rise out of the floor in a giant bird cage.
They had a lot of there's a reason they went under at the birdseed factory. A lot of pomp and circumstance for a birdseed factory.
Really unnecessary expenses. What was he doing down there?
I'm guessing he was adding product to his hair.
His luxury. He has a Hulk Hogan skullet.
Yeah,
the penguin does.
They were like, hey, DeVito's look. It's like, I'm going to say this. I bet Bruce Timm did not want to make that mullet part of the design. And Warner's like, we need to make this a recognizable character from the movie.
Maybe, because it's really long.
The notes are probably very accessible on that. Because that doesn't seem like something, that's not, that part, the mullet is so standoffish of the rest of the design of that show. It really is the most out of place part of any design on any of their main characters.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like they would do that. Because he's always been sort of, or at least he was previously in the 60s, portrayed in that very sort of like dapper way.
Right. He would have had like the really, really brill creamed hair, like almost a buttered toast,
Yep.
but not quite.
Yeah, like the superpowers penguin, but just more of the 90s update.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. They added the mullet, but on the rest of him looks like that, but with a mullet. It makes me think that there were notes.
Right,
from
because they
production.
couldn't. I mean, there was a lot of controversy surrounding Batman Returns
Mm-hmm.
and the look of
As
the
you may have
penguin.
heard.
Yes, you may have heard. So they couldn't bring so much of that look to it. I guess really the only thing they could bring to a children's cartoon and still sell action figures to kids is that goddamn mullet. And it is flowing. He looks like a 16th century governor in the Bahamas.
It's
like
it's a powerful mullet.
Like in Barbados.
And it's rough. It's a rough thing. Also we kind of we kind of skip over the Sherman.
Have we met Sherman? Oh yeah, we did meet Sherman.
He's getting bullied for being a dork. He's getting rightfully bullied.
He's getting rightfully bullied for
being a dumb dick.
being a kind of a dumb dick.
And like Roberta, what's she doing?
I don't know. Like
She
why
has
does
hitched her trailer to the wrong wagon?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's like funny. I don't know. We don't
Doesn't
see any
come
of
off
that
as
in
funny.
this episode. But yeah,
No.
he's hanging out with his best pal Roberta, who could do better.
She could do way better.
But-
Roberta.
And then these two adult men bullies.
They're pretty big.
Yeah,
They're big. They're
one of them straight up looks like a character design for one of the Penguin's henchmen.
yeah. They're they're just scaled down slightly.
Slightly.
Make him like a 5'9".
And he is looking through his junior detective's kit, and then they come up and bully him, and they take his binoculars, which are in his detective kit, and like, it's some kind of falcon or something, or a hawk. And it's like obviously a buzzard. But Sherman takes it too far.
Yeah.
He's like, well, if you look at its head and like the curve of its
It's a South American
beak,
vulture.
it's obviously a South American vulture. It's
Yep,
like, see,
that's
that's
why you get beat up.
your problem right there, Sherman.
Sherman, that word obviously, that's the cherry on your ass kicking Sunday right there.
Right.
Like,
That's gonna be the straw that breaks your ass beating's back.
yeah. And like
Which that brings me to my first starred point, which is it is never clear how much time has passed or what time of day it is in this episode.
time is a construct.
Right. we in the heist, the theft of the Fabergé egg happens in the dead of night. And then we cut to Sherman and Roberta sitting on the doorstep in like the most overcast, like apocalyptic gray sky. And then they spot the buzzard who is still circling around from
Yeah.
after the heist. So it's like, has the bird been up there for hours? Or is it like 4 a.m.? And Sherman and Roberta are just miserable latchkey kids.
Batman tethered the vulture
Yeah.
to the ground, and he's trying to get away, but he's just getting abused in a circle. Like, that is an abused trained animal.
Yes.
Just spinning around, like flying. in
Just,
circles,
yeah,
trying to
just
get away.
really struggling.
So, why the bird cage factory, the bird seed
factory with the
that
giant bird
has a
cage.
conveyor belt / grinder.
Right. It has the Temple of Doom grinder on it.
What are you making?
Is that how you make bird seed?
You grinding up horses for your bird seed?
Yeah, just fill it full of horse hooves.
Like,
It grinds it up into seed.
seed is its final form.
Right.
Like,
It begins
seed comes in the way it comes out.
Right.
Like,
It begins its existence as seed.
are you buying fruit wholesale?
Yeah, they're just throwing fucking peaches through that thing. Well, not peaches.
I just imagine birds eating pits.
Peach pits.
Batman choking it up.
Yeah.
Batman gets hit with a gas pellet, by the way, and he just fucking takes it.
Yeah.
There is no reflexes.
Doesn't do anything to stop that shit from
Penguin
happening.
points an umbrella at you. Fucking move.
Yeah, confetti's not coming out of the end of it.
It's
Right.
it's
It's
gonna-
always bad.
yeah. There's always a blade of sorts.
Right. Some sort of
Flames.
contraption.
He's not a fast man. If you see that Batman, I've noticed in season 1 especially, Batman takes a lot of ass kickings for somebody who has established himself. Like he's really
Right.
slow to react to most things.
Right, like, so that's like a JV mistake. It's like, all right, you got a heavy-set man with short legs. His mullet is longer than his legs.
You know him.
You know him. You know the umbrella is kind of the only thing he's got.
That's his accessory in the
Right.
toys. Like,
that is how he both attacks and defends himself. So yeah, he just takes like a snoot full of gas
yeah,
and is fucking out.
yeah. Like that's murder gas.
Penguin has some line when he's driving. They follow his vulture. We're skipping ahead a little bit, but that's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, basically, Sherman and Roberta follow Batman.
Sherman's slightly suicidal.
Right. He ducks right into the abandoned seed factory, and they try to help Batman, and they help Batman into the Batmobile. Oh, okay. This is a good place to stop. They help Batman into the Batmobile, and then monkey with the controls for long enough that they take off down the street with the Penguin and his 2 thugs attached to the car. And Sherman spends like 2 minutes actively trying to kill the Penguin.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
trying to
just-
ram him into things. Like,
He wants to kill.
yeah.
And we're going to be revealing a lot of very, very crucial information about Sherman for the rest of the episode.
Oh, I'm curious if you
That-
landed on one of the same points that I landed on with the way this
I
episode
started.
ends.
Oh, well, yes, probably. There's
Probably.
here's the thing. Okay, we'll jump to one thing where
Mhm.
he gets back to his house
Yeah.
after trying to murder the Penguin.
Yes.
And Sherman is hiding in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Batman is having a fever dream, trying to tell him to do that. And then Sherman's mom is just like, "Are you making gunpowder again?" Time out,
Hold on.
real quick. Hey, Shermanator,
Yeah.
what's your plan for the gunpowder? What are you gonna do with that gunpowder? You already tried to run over a fat man.
Yeah.
Gunpowder does one thing:
Yes.
destroy.
Yeah, it explodes. And given the oh man,
He's bullied.
he's bullied, he's been friend zoned.
He's making gunpowder.
Is he an incel?
He is. He's a child. So
Well, yeah, but
you can't.
right.
He's a cell just because he's a child.
He's a child.
But he is for sure going to become a school shooter at this point in time.
Right. He's on the trajectory.
He is on the precipice of a huge decision right now.
Right.
This is Batman's greatest fight. This is the Penguin doesn't matter.
No.
The Penguin is nothing more than a mask for the true evil,
Right.
which is Sherman.
Yeah. Yes. The Penguin is just a chubby guy who steals things.
Yeah. Also,
Like-
it is revealed that Sherman stole a wanted poster of the Joker.
yeah.
Hmm.
Kind of an unnecessary wanted poster.
Yeah. I was
You know?
thinking the same
It's
thing.
like
He's always wanted.
well, yeah, he's always wanted,
Be on the lookout for this guy.
and also pretty identifiable. We don't need like a reminder of what the Joker looks like.
Yeah. If you see like a Joker and a 7-foot robot clown, steer clear.
That guy's wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, what fucking poor ass Gotham post office did he swipe that from?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so they get when Batman's having his fever dream, in Sherman's basement, he says 2 very clear words.
Visor?
He says capsule, and then he says visor. And then Sherman's like, captured? You're not captured, Batman. It's like, no, Mr. I'm the smartest guy ever.
You sure are captured, Batman.
Yeah, yeah. He said capsule very clearly. And then they can't figure that shit out. And Roberta tries, not for the first time, to call the police, and Sherman stops her.
Mm-hmm.
That's my second start point.
No
is
cops.
absolutely call the police.
No cops.
Yeah. Like, Batman's friends with the head of the police.
Yeah, his only friend,
Right.
really.
It'll be fine. Like,
Yeah, we need to talk to the commissioner.
yeah.
Who's the guy that turns on the bat signal? We need to talk to him real
Connect
quick.
me to his office, please.
Yeah, whoever that is.
Yeah.
I don't know who Commissioner Gordon is because I don't watch late night TV where he's apparently always on.
I mean, the worst thing that could possibly happen is Bullock answers the phone.
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah, what's happening?
Eating an old pretzel.
Yeah, fucking
like a
trash Bullock.
3-day old pretzel.
I just found it in my desk. It's like finding money in your pocket. Fucking Bullock. And Bullock doesn't look like he ever answers the phone. No, he lets that
His phone
shit
is
ring.
off the hook.
Yeah.
Hey,
First
it's
thing he
always.
does.
I take the phone off the hook on lunchtime, and it's always lunchtime.
Always lunchtime.
Those bullies are awesome. I don't want to say it, but they're really cool.
They kind of are.
And then they find the car.
By throwing a brick at it.
That's so awesome.
They just throw a brick at this giant stack of boxes. This 3D puzzle of boxes.
And then they're like, whose car is this?
Well, they didn't know. They thought a gigantic vulture was a hawk. They're not the sharpest blades in the old utility belt.
That's a recognizable car.
Yeah.
That's like seeing the General Lee.
Yeah, I think we can chalk it up to people in Gotham having complete face blindness and no object permanence. Yeah, it immediately.
What is this, like a rocket ship or something? It's a car. It's just a regular car, actually.
I think we found a spaceman. Yes, they immediately. Also, the Batmobile has like zero. Like, I think at least when Sherman and Roberta get it, it's already open, right? Or do they have to open it?
Where's the defense mechanism?
Right,
here?
like there's nothing. Like these kids, these fucking dickhead kids, just pop the Batmobile right open.
Oh yeah,
like a Pringles can.
Hell yeah,
and then start fucking around inside of it. But the two bullies discover the capsules that ultimately save Batman's life.
Yeah, they do. And then meanwhile, the Vulture is eating power lines.
Sure is.
He sure is.
Just biting his way through phone lines and power lines. He's fine.
He's going to be fine.
Yeah. One thing about the Batmobile that I wanted to mention is that when Sherman and Roberta first hop into it, like, and they're pressing buttons and like random defense things are coming off and online. The Batmobile has two different rocket launchers.
Yeah, man, you don't know what kind of rockets you need.
Two separate missile launchers.
Yep. Hey, man, you might need missiles.
That's true.
You might need to not use guns, but still explode a perp.
Right.
Then we get into like a little bit of a Home Alone situation.
They Home Alone the shit out of the Penguin.
And they named it Operation Foul Play.
Mm-hmm. Sherman showing off that big brain of his.
How much time did you have to prepare this?
Enough to, like, they set up a tripwire across one doorway that one of his hoods, one of the Penguin's thugs, trips over and then hops back out completely bound head to toe. Like, was there a spider in that room? Like a giant spider?
Like a big Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Frostbite spider.
What the fuck tied him up like that?
Yes. And the Penguin is doing surprisingly well against Batman.
Oh, yeah. Well, they throw a line in there where he's like, still feeling dazed, huh? So it like explains why Batman is attempting to sword fight the Penguin with a screwdriver.
Yeah. And maybe we're gonna, and like, he wins. Batman wins.
Of course, yeah. He suddenly remembers he's Batman and just easily slaps the Penguin's knife umbrella away and then mule kicks him like 15 feet across the room.
That's some broken ribs like that.
Yeah. And then he smashes into the wall and this shelf just collapses onto his head. Like, Penguin is done.
He's gonna be in
quite some time.
And it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's why I opened with this is the most embarrassing episode for him to premiere in, is because there's nothing sophisticated about this character who is supposed to be the most sophisticated Batman villain.
Yeah.
That's kind of his bit.
He's got a nice car.
No, well, like, they do it later on. Like, that's the whole thing, is that he's the sophisticate.
Yeah.
And instead, he's like a bumbling fucking fat turkey getting his ass kicked by children and drugged up Batman getting mule kicked into into some kid's jerk off den.
Yeah.
Like, it's not cool.
No, he really doesn't make it. He comes off like I said at the top of the episode, he just comes off like that guy who thinks he's real cultured, and so it's like, okay, Penguin, you're about as sophisticated as someone who's completed like one semester of gen ed night schooling.
It's like that kid in high school who memorized Romeo and Juliet to sing deep.
Right.
And it's like that's not a talent. It's just like the bad play.
Kind of nailed one thing.
You've memorized.
Yeah.
More than you've actually learned.
Right.
I'm gonna do my final point here.
Okay.
Which is Batman for sure fucked that mom.
Ooh.
He 100% fucked that mom. Like,
I'm not gonna dispute that.
The groundwork was laid.
Yeah.
And then at the
Pun
end,
intended.
You see Batman's feet.
Yeah.
Like,
leaving the house.
Leaving the house.
Yeah.
After the kid's like, Batman, you single? Batman fucked that mom.
Yeah, he did.
He fucked that mom. There's no way you can even think anything other than Batman fucked that mom.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
It kind of is. It sort of softens the blow that...
No wonder he hung out with Sherman.
Right. It kind of softens the blow that Bruce is 100% not going to pay for the damages to that house.
Nope.
He's just going to be like...
But Batman might have.
Maybe.
Because Batman probably fucked that mom and was like, here's for the repairs.
Here's some cash. God. He leaves some cash on the nightstand.
Yes, he did.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, and for the repairs.
Yeah. Wink. You can't tell because I can't blink these eyes, but I'm winking. My final point is that the episode ends with Sherman having become the Penguin.
Yep.
Like he's a bespectacled jackass who just is condescending with his intelligence. And he's got two Brooklyn Mook henchmen working for him now. It's like, you guys go scope out this area. Sure thing, boss.
What lesson did you learn, Sherman? I think Sherman is going to kill someone.
He might.
Like there are all of the
warning signs are there. Maybe getting a win as a detective will put him on the right path.
True, but remember, he also he doesn't have a father figure.
It's true,
right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been bullied
by guys who now work for him.
Yes, he tried to murder a man with a car
gleefully. Like he's like he said something like, "Take this," and like floored the fucking.
He was
gas pedal.
He was caught making gunpowder. He focuses a lot of his information on trivial stuff. He is abusive to women.
Kind of is.
Yeah. Sherman's not a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a bad man.
He will grow into a bad man. He will grow into
villain.
The Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's poor Sherman.
I mean, he's a victim of society.
He is. He's a victim of his own circumstances.
Batman fucked that mom.
He sure did. Yeah.
Did you have that? Did you?
No, I didn't. So I'm glad you did.
Like, as soon as it pans up to his feet, I was like, this is not the same moment. He revisited the house.
Yeah, he came back to the house. Oh, hi, Sherman. This is Mom's friend who stayed the night.
Uncle Batman.
Uncle Batman. Here's a toy, Sherman. I got you a G.I. Joe.
I wonder what he fucks like as Batman.
As Batman?
If he's really good to build up the mystique, or if he doesn't care because no one will believe him anyway.
Right. It could go either way. Yeah, he just uses those to just fucking try his weird shit.
Yeah. Like, what if I spit on you?
Call me Jerry Lewis. So yeah, I've got Batman in my basement.
It's not good. It's a bad episode. We're sorry you had to watch it.
I was surprised how much of it was in my memory. Like I remembered a lot of the beats of dialogue and how they were performed.
Wow.
So yeah, I've seen this episode a lot.
Yep.
And again, pretty sure it was the first episode I saw.
Yeah, leaves a mark. You imprinted on it.
I did. Okay. Next episode.
Heart of Ice. This is classic.
Yeah, this is the Emmy Award-winning one.
Seminal.
Right? Yeah.
A seminal episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
This is the Mr. Freeze episode.
It's so good that I don't even have a lot of notes.
I have some notes. There's some weird stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at like where I was like finding space on my notebook for Batman in my basement. Heart of Ice, I did maybe 2/3.
Like half a page. All right, well, this will be interesting. We mentioned it before, this is definitely where all the Mr. Freeze stuff comes from.
Yeah.
This is, like, they created this origin story as him being a guy who's trying to find a cure for his terminally ill wife in this episode.
Yep.
So this took the idea of making him sort of a sympathetic character, although one of the things that's so good about this episode is he is sympathetic, but he's also undeniably a bad guy.
Yes.
It's just really well done.
He's a sociopath.
He is, yeah.
And in the biggest sense of the word. I mean, we always sort of make Batman's a sociopath, and he is.
He is.
But the Mr. Freeze is an active sociopath.
Yeah.
Like, he is purposeful in his sociopathy.
Yes, that's correct.
Like, he's purposeful in it, and to the point where he views everything as binary and mathematic.
Yeah, which is one that brings me to one of my first points. Is I fucking love Mr. Freeze's voice and
I have that,
and
right?
performance.
I have that
because it is just it's flat and it has that
the echo in
the
it,
echo, like the robotic
yeah.
echo, like he's speaking because he's wearing a helmet, so he's like speaking through a speaker. So it's got kind of that Boba Fett vibe
perfect.
to it. Yeah, it's
perfect. Yeah. I actually have that too. I have Freeze's voice is amazing. It's actually one of the few episodes that doesn't open with a robbery.
No, it
There
opens
is
with
no
him
crime.
looking at a goddamn snow clone.
Yeah, doing a goddamn Citizen Kane monologue there.
With another one of those the still frames that are just his mouth is animated. I fucking love that.
The Fleischer stuff.
The Fleischer stuff, yeah. I so love that style.
Which is interesting. And then there's all the there's a tech theft.
Yeah.
Tech thefts.
And more tech thefts at GothCorp.
Hell yeah.
One of GothCorp, which has several production plants all within the city of Gotham.
And all of which, by the way, the ingredients make a freeze ray.
Combined to make a giant freeze ray.
There's got to be just one ingredient that matters, and that's like the freeze engine, right?
Right.
Like one of those things he's stealing is a freeze engine.
The rest of it you can get pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, but this is like, what are you making that 5 things makes a freeze ray?
It's like some Minecraft recipe or some shit.
One of those things.
Yeah.
Is just freeze explosion.
One of those things makes the freeze gun.
Yeah, there's one key ingredient here.
Right. So GothCorp also sounds like an industrial cover band.
Right.
So
or a brand.
Or like a brand.
I'm a big GothCorp fan.
Yeah, like a Hot Topic style boutique store in the mall.
Mm-hmm.
They sell a lot of men's eyeshadow at GothCorp.
Batman takes an L from Mr. Freeze in a big way.
Pretty hard one.
And to the point where he also, Mr. Freeze kicks the shit out of everyone. Like,
yes,
including his own guy.
That part is so goddamn brutal.
It is. And it's actually one of my points, which is who signs up for Freeze?
He's got nothing. Like, why?
What? It's all vengeance. It's not money.
He's not stealing money. Yeah,
no,
like how is he paying these dudes?
Yeah, like that's not a good guy to work for.
Maybe he's the only reason I can think he has an entire team of longshoremen that work for him.
That's the only. Yeah. First off, they really pulled the '60s Mr. Freeze vibe out of it.
The only because they are actively terrified of him, so he must be terrorizing them into working for him.
Yeah, you know whose job is terrorizing and still treats his employees with respect?
Scarecrow.
It's goddamn Scarecrow, man. Freeze is like the anti-Scarecrow. Scarecrow ain't shooting fear dust into his people if they fuck up.
No.
They just sit down with HR and they talk about what the problem was and how they can fix it and move forward.
Yeah, and if his guy got his legs froze, Scarecrow would take him with.
He would. Not only would he take him with, but
drive him to the hospital himself.
He would. I'm very sorry this happened.
Do you have your medical coverage card on you? It's all right. I can give them the company information. They'll be able to look.
We keep carbon copies in the office. I'll call Crystal.
She'll meet us there.
Who do we call? What's your point of contact?
Let me see. Who's your ice number in your phone?
Freeze is like, they're all ice numbers.
All of my ice numbers are ice numbers.
He makes a lot of Freeze puns.
He does.
Which, I gotta be honest, I wouldn't be able to resist it either.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't blame him for that.
He has so little joy in his life.
Take the take the little bits of like the small.
Right. Take what you can get, man. So he freezes his way into his freeze gun makes everything brittle, which is a thing that can happen over time. But like his gun is just, I guess, so goddamn cold that he can freeze like a metal door and then just immediately ram his car through it. He freezes like a catwalk, and as soon as Batman steps on it, it collapses.
That's a thin-ass catwalk.
Yeah. And then the third thing that happens is he freezes his henchman's legs. So I was like, oh no. Like,
those legs are done.
Yeah.
But nope, Batman has a Bacta tank.
He has an escalator leading up to a Bacta tank.
A Bacta tank is the thing that Luke Skywalker is floating in Empire Strikes Back after the Wampa attack. Side note, Luke Skywalker in this episode, too.
Yeah, that's actually my second point. This is the first episode that Mark Hamill was cast to do.
Really?
And then apparently they came. He asked if they had anything else, and like, well, we haven't cast the Joker yet. So they were clearly amped on having Mark Hamill in this episode because there's 2 Luke references.
Yeah.
There's the Bacta tank, and then after Freeze captures Batman, he's hanging upside down in a cave.
Wampa cave.
In the Wampa cave with ice to the ceiling. So
ice to ceiling you.
Chill.
Wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it be funny to hear all those puns, but in the Mr. Freeze animated voice?
Yeah.
What killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age.
The Ice Age.
His voice makes the puns kind of creepy.
Really?
Like when he says them, it's not like you never groan. It's always like,
oh. Fuck. I don't feel right about this.
Oh, you're gonna kill a lot of people, aren't you?
Yeah, this is Ferris Boyle, interesting character.
That's the guy who Mark Hamill plays.
Mark Hamill gives away a lot of information with very limited prodding.
He sings like a canary.
He tells Bruce everything very quickly.
Right, everything he needs to know to figure out what happened with Mr. Freeze, who was an employee at GothCorp, which Ferris Boyle owns, and subsequently to very easily scare up the security camera footage.
You kept the tape. The world's greatest detective.
Yeah.
Figures out another one.
Really, he's just master of the Google search.
Yeah, that wasn't a tough one for you, was it, pal?
No, it was about as difficult as tracking down the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
It takes him 3 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, and the tape, you have the tape.
Right. It's been professionally edited. It includes multiple angles so that I can see everything.
It's labeled Mr. Freeze on it.
Yeah. And in the tape, it shows Victor Freeze being like, here's my new experiment. I've figured out how to use cryostasis to slow down people with inoperable or incurable diseases like my wife Nora, who's currently in this cryogenic tank. Hopefully she agreed to that.
I mean, I think she was... I think she was in a coma, maybe.
She might have been, yeah, that's true. And then Ferris Boyle comes in and is like, fucking shut all this down. Like, he comes in like Walter Peck.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Freeze is like, no, you can't. That's like...
That's murder.
My wife is in there. If you turn it off, she will die, and that you will have killed her. And then he grabs one of the security guy's guns. And Ferris Boyle's like, no, you're right. It's okay. We can talk about this.
And then this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Front kicks the shit out of him.
He delivers such a devastatingly hilarious chest kick.
Yeah.
It's ballsy because you got a gun pointed at your face.
It is a high-kneed front kick to the chest.
He just fucking... he learned that in his Shotokan karate class.
Yeah,
earlier
just been
that week.
dying to try it out.
Really waiting for it.
Yeah. He was just going to have one of his security guys stand still later on, but no, he got to whip it out here. And Victor Freeze crashes into a table of freeze drugs.
Yep.
And the whole room freezes and they all run out. And that's all on camera, on a videotape that he didn't get rid of.
That he keeps readily available.
Right. Clearly labeled?
I mean, you might as well, when you walk into an office building and they have like TVs that like tell you what they're all about.
Mm-hmm.
When you're like in the waiting room.
Yeah, his promotional video.
He might as well be putting it up on there.
Yeah. And here's the time I turned that guy into an ice astronaut.
Check out this kick that I landed.
Check out this sweet. It's like it's these Fawcett and there's like telestrator stuff. You can see how
you can see the form there, the 90-degree angle between
the flexibility of my groin as I kick the shit out of this guy.
Batman is captured
Mm-hmm.
in a Wampa cave.
Mm-hmm.
He's got ice cuffs on. It's like, hey man, I know you've got a gimmick, but maybe regular cuffs?
Regular handcuffs will do. They're cheap, man. They're cheap.
Ice isn't that strong when it's only 3 inches thick.
Yeah.
Like it's not that. All he's got to do is twist.
Yeah.
A little.
He just breathe. He can just lick it a bunch.
Yeah.
And then it'll break. What happened to your handcuffs? I drank them. They melted.
They were essentially a popsicle.
Yeah.
That you wrapped around my arm. I'm probably the strongest man in Gotham now.
Yeah.
Now that Harvey's missing.
Right.
I'm gonna be able to do this. And then Batman tries. Oh, Batman got. Oh shit! We totally forgot the B plot. Batman is a cold.
Oh yeah, they never resolve it.
Yeah, they do. He just goes home. That's how colds work.
Yeah,
that's the resolution.
Just fucking sleep, bro.
And Alfred is like, "You've got a cold. You need to rest." He's like, "Dude, people are dying out there, Alfred.
I have
a cold."
A half mechanical demon man is freezing people to death.
And then he gives him
a cold later.
A jar of chicken soup.
A big thermos full of chicken soup that is very important. It is integral to the plot.
Yeah, as we find out.
Integral.
But Freeze's suit when he's like choking the shit out of Batman. Here's one of the things I brought up. Is this one of yours?
It's one of my points too.
Okay.
We're skipping a bit ahead. Let's set the stage.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Ferris Boyle is throwing himself a big party because
he's got a humanitarian award.
Yeah, you got a humanitarian award because when you're that fucking rich, you can just donate money to a bunch of causes and they're all tax deductible.
Yeah.
So Freeze's plan is to assemble the freeze gun and fucking murder everyone in that building.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, and that's where we get like the pun intended most chilling glimpse into this character, which ultimately makes it so it's like, yeah, he's sympathetic, but I can't fully be on his side because
he's a mass murderer.
Because he's a mass murderer, and he flat out tells Batman, he's like, to never feel the warmth of the sun on your skin or hold a warm hand. Yes, Batman, I would kill for that.
That's the line of the That's the line of the show.
Absolutely.
And the line that sets up everything for this character forever.
Yeah.
And it's great.
It's a great line. So Batman puts on a disguise to get into the banquet. He disguises himself as a blonde security. He even dyed his eyebrows. He really went for it.
That's intense.
Yeah.
He bleached his eyebrows.
He sure did.
Big orange ass eyebrows. Hey, enjoy the party with the boss's compliments.
Yeah. I wonder if he bleached his pubes just to cover all of his bases.
Just in case some kid's warrant mom is running around.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
This can't be Batman. Batman's got jack pubes.
Yeah, and then so you're right, the Batman Master of Disguise. Aren't you Bruce Wayne?
Right, he's clearly just Bruce Wayne who bleached his hair.
Did you bleach your hair, Bruce Wayne?
Right, like famous people do that.
Yeah.
Like they bleach their hair sometimes.
Yeah, Grace Jones used to do that.
Sure.
She's pretty recognizable even if she has blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's good Grace Jones reference.
Solid Grace Jones reference. Yeah, like nobody fucking forgot who Ben Affleck was when he fucking frosted his tips.
Right. But so you eventually have the showdown.
Yes.
Victor Freeze holds Batman up.
Right, because he is massively diesel.
Yes.
Incredibly strong.
Here's the thing. It's the suit.
Yeah, it's the suit.
Which triples his strength. Here's the thing. Batman is probably a solid 230 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll bring it down to 210. Okay.
Mhm.
Have you ever tried holding 70 pounds in front of you?
Up like that.
Yeah, or
It's a
in
leg-
front of you or
it's-
above you.
It's an exercise.
It's
It's
very difficult.
part of a workout.
Victor Fries is not a strong man.
No.
Tripling the strength of a kind of nerdy scientist
Yeah, a guy who doesn't work out.
would make him maybe almost as strong as Batman.
He'd be
Like,
right. He'd be right
He'd
around
be
there.
close to Batman, but
Right.
not quite there. They should have changed that number
Yeah.
because triples ain't enough.
10 times maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe that's
yeah.
too much.
Quintuples my
5
strength.
times.
I could handle 5 times.
Sure.
5 times would be just enough that you could hold Batman up for a good amount of time.
Enough to break his neck.
Like Victor Fries being able to lift 5 times means he could probably bench about 500 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
considering he's not that strong in
Right.
the beginning. 500 pounds is an accessible number for a very powerful man. For a strong, like bodybuilders,
Mm-hmm.
bench that, and it's like, that's a personal record.
Sure.
That's a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm. That's very heavy.
Yes. So then you could, but 3 times?
Nah.
No, sorry. It's just, I don't believe it.
Yeah. Like I don't.
believe it. That's not that strong.
Yeah.
It's strong, but it's not that strong.
Yeah. It's not choke a man in the air strong.
Yeah.
So that brings me to my last starred point for this episode is that this is easily one of the best episodes,
Oh, yeah.
but it has kind of the silliest ending. In that
The
Batman
chicken soup thing?
defeats Mr. Freeze by breaking his helmet open with a thermos of chicken soup
Mhm.
and then quipping, "It's how you cure the cold." And
Yeah.
then Mr. Freeze collapses, for all we know, dead, because he told him, "I cannot survive."
For sure dying.
Yeah. And then Batman says, "Here's the evidence," and leaves. It's like the silliest, like,
Yeah.
here's all the evidence
I've never
against
thought
Ferris
about that.
Boyle.
I've never thought about the fact that it's such a good episode with such a dumbass ending.
And it's not even really, it's not even really that it's that silly. It's just so tonally out of place with the rest of this episode, which is
I mean,
like,
the here's the evidence line I could see,
yeah,
because that's something that Batman would do.
maybe hand it to Gordon. Don't just leave
Someone,
it in the
yeah.
middle of all of Ferris Boyle's friends.
Yeah.
Like, they're probably not going to turn that guy in.
No, probably not.
Like, most of those people are probably investors in his company. All of those people own shares in,
Yeah.
in Goth
They're
Corp.
all his friends minimum.
Yeah, 100% they're all his friends. So, yeah, it ends with Mr. Freeze in jail. Crying about having failed his dying wife. And
Fuck,
it's
man.
kind of a fucking bummer.
Yeah. That's a real bummer.
Yeah, this episode is intense
Sure is.
in many ways.
Is that did I
that-
cover my I think I covered
I don't
mine,
remember.
right?
What was your third point?
Let's see. I did was it he's terrible to work for.
He certainly is.
He is I mean, I had the voice acting, but you had that too.
Oh, yeah.
Batman having a bacta tank,
Yeah, he just got that.
just chemical bath.
Yeah, he just said, just as
Wow.
I thought, a hot chemical bath did the trick.
A hot anything bath will do the trick.
Hot chemical bath? What kind of chemicals are you putting in there, man?
It's anything hot. That's ice.
Just boiling that man in a chemical jar.
Yeah. Let's see. You know what? I don't think I did really mention my third one. I just kind of had a lot of stuff. Let's see. How quick Ferris Boyle was to just reveal literally everything that happened.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
we
past.
did cover that.
I did go.
Yeah, we did
like,
cover
that's again with very
that.
limited
Yeah, right.
prodding.
Like, Bruce Wayne just shows up and asks him a question, and he's like, oh, it was probably this guy, Mr. Freeze.
yeah, it was probably this guy, and I'll tell you why specifically.
You're right. I will tell you everything except I front kicked him into freeze drugs.
Here's how attempted murder turned into actual murder.
Right. Yeah, it's a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
it's a very good episode, and it's the reason why the Mr. Freeze character is the way that he is now.
Yeah. And that's, I think that really covers a lot. Oh, there's also another thing where he fucks up a fire hydrant, puts his hands in it, and freezes his way up there. That's not how that would have worked. That's not how If you freeze something at the base, it will stop
Right.
sending you up.
Right.
That's not how
It
that
doesn't.
would've
It doesn't work like lighting a stream of gas.
Yeah, in reality, that would have just been him putting, and then it would have exploded.
Would have gone out like
Shards
a shark
of
from
fire
Jaws.
hydrant just going everywhere.
It's a very effective bomb for him, though. He could freeze one and throw it.
It looked cool, but at the same time, that's not how that would have worked.
Mm-mm. Just give him a jetpack. I don't care. He's got a robot suit.
Hell yeah.
I'll believe it.
Hell yeah.
He's got an armored car with many little murder holes in it.
Yep.
Every possible angle.
So there it is.
He's like a tank commander.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I would say, as I said at the beginning of this episode, these are the two... We couldn't have covered two more opposite episodes.
Yes, that's true.
That are first episodes for people.
Yeah, definitely. Which is interesting.
The Penguin being a goofy,
just being a
mulleted scumbag.
gosh.
And then Mr. Freeze being like, oh, someone cared about this episode. The other episode just sucks, man.
Yeah.
That Penguin one just sucks.
The Penguin one is
It's derivative of stupid stuff. It's not fun.
yeah.
All the clues are bad.
Right.
There's not any. It's like it clubs you over the head with how obvious everything is.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
except Batman fucking that mom.
Batman totally throws one into that mom.
Oh yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
There it is. That's an episode.
There it is. That sure is.
We watched Batman.
We sure did watch Batman.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you so much for continuing to support this show.
Thank you. We really fucking appreciate it.
We do. I mean, Jeff sounds like he's being facetious, but it's not.
No, it's great. Thanks.
That's what speaking from the heart sounds like for him.
Thank you.
It comes out like that.
Oh, I'm so appreciative of you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Watch live comedy.
Yeah, do that. Support live comedy.
Think of it, Batman. To never again walk on a summer's day with a hot wind in your face and a warm hand to hold. Oh yes, I'd kill for that.